from coast to coast. Families fighting back, tolling rolls on the road, no turning back. Here's a tale of a crew, 40 strong and true. Ditch the ego, the pride for me and you. They spot the cracks in America's dream, with hearts of fire and a radiant gleam, shaping futures for folks lost in the fog, chasing direction from the greed dog's law. House slipping away, laws gone rogue, kids in the crossfire, it's a heavy load. But family's not for sale, no map on the wall, help's knocking now. Answer the call, toll and roll, ring that freedom bell. Fighters for the fallen, breaking every spell. No shame in the struggle, you're not alone. Roll up our sleeves, claim what you're on, toll and roll. Hey, freedom bell rings loud for every family standing proud, toll and roll. Yeah, we're here to fight. If it's right, we'll light up the night. Billy Rennie leads with fire in her eyes, lost her ranch to lies, but she still rise. Sheriff Max got the badge, constitutional might. John Bloom's in the mix, turning wrong to right. When the world's walked away and shadows creep in, they're your equal, your kin. Let the healing begin. Greed's infection spreading, but we won't fall. Closer than you know, they've inked it all. No chase for the spotlight, just ending the pain. Freedom's for us, break every chain, toll and roll, ring that freedom bell. Fighters for the fallen, breaking every spell. No shame in the struggle, you're not alone. Roll up our sleeves, claim what you're on, toll and roll. Freedom bell rings loud for every family standing proud, toll and roll. Yeah, we're here to fight. If it's right, we'll light up the night. Our forefathers dreamed it, not for the elite. This land's for the people, feel the heartbeat. From OC to DC, convoy on the move. Audit the fraud, got nothing to prove. It's no fancy war, just rights we hold dear. When that bell tolls, lose the fear.
CPS took my neighbor's kids last week. Here's what I wish she knew beforehand. She had no clue what her rights were and completely panicked. That's exactly what you can't do. The difference between keeping your kids and losing them comes down to being prepared. There's this book, Stay Calm, CPS is Coming, that breaks down everything you need to know. Education isn't just power, it's protection. Grab it on Amazon or check cpsbreakingnews.com. Don't wait until it's your door they're knocking on.
Brenda used to walk these streets with pride. Her husband Chris, a patriot by her side. But the weight of the world came crashing down when the government tried to take the ground. They stole Chris away, said he was a threat, left Brenda alone with words of regret. CPS came knocking, took her children too, but Brenda stood tall like the sky so blue. Bring back Brenda, let her light shine bright. She's been trampled on, but she's ready to fight. Don't tread on her, she's got a heart so true. Through the darkest nights, she'll pull through. Every day she fights for what's been lost, pays the price, bears the cost. Whispers of hope through a podcast wave, telling her story, she'll be brave. In the heartland, they know her name, her struggle, her passion, her undying flame. She dreams of a day she'll hold them tight, Chris and the kids in the morning light. Bring back Brenda, let her light shine bright. She's been trampled on, but she's ready to fight. Don't tread on her, she's got a heart so true. Through the darkest nights, she'll pull through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's do it. That's what I was trying to let you guys know. Got a special guest. Hopefully they didn't wait long enough. We had some really weird problems. My whole show was disappeared. And I was talking to Renee Powers with Toll and Roll. And I think, is John there? I think Billy fell asleep because she was there at 9. But Don, it worked out for you because you said you were going to be down. You're going to be down the hill, and knowing how things usually go when my show is on. So who else is here? Who's this? Oh, there you are. I thought for sure you fell asleep.
No, I just keep getting booted out, and I was trying really hard to get back in for you.
It was really weird. We'd never seen anything like that happen before. It was like the first in history. My whole show disappeared. Darren had to quick make a whole new thing. It's like sabotage. It reminds me of that one song. Oh Lord. So I want y'all to tell us a little bit more about this bill and how that we could get you that letter that you said you updated this letter. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got it done. I know JB's been working all day, and I've been trying to keep him updated. He's been up on the mountain, so I know he just did his best to get on here. What we did is, I'll let him explain what we've done, but the letter that was created was because people were asking, and I know you were too, Brenda, what they can do to get the bill out, how they can get it to the senators or the congressmen or their representatives. So this morning, I just decided and just said, hey, I'll write a letter. So John was working, so I wrote a letter, and then we put it online. I did a quick video just telling everybody, hey, just please get the letter downloaded, get to the petition, get to the bill and read it, then do the petition and sign it and share it. But you can give just the letter itself without having to attach anything to it unless you want to. And that way you can fax it, email it, hand deliver it, whatever you want to do to your representatives. And then just keep track of who you're giving it to and when you've given it so that you can let us know. You can let John and I or Tom know, or Matt, that you've given it to your representatives. And why this is important is because this bill is in review right now with multiple offices. I mean, I think we have 26 on the list, John, offices plus more inside
At
the
least
office.
I think we got it to 32 total that I count, but I don't know how many are confirmed. I think it's at least 26 to 28.
Okay. Okay.
Also encourage that everybody sign that petition, because it seems like we've been going up in the numbers on the signatures, right? Because that is going to be helpful.
Yeah, or you can leave a note there, and you can leave a live video. So you could literally leave. I don't know, it's not very long. I think they give you like 20 seconds, but you can say, I support this bill because I'm a victim of CPS, or Judge Joe Blow took my child, unlawfully committed judicial warfare. Just give it a 20-second click with your name and why you're supporting the bill. And that's huge. So that gives you a platform, and the legislators are watching what we're doing.
Well, that's what it's all about, is getting their attention, right? Exactly. That's why I was wondering if anybody's good at getting that stuff shared out, because that's where I'm lacking, is like, to get it, like to get some, like we want thousands.
We need social media hype.
And
Yeah, we're not real good at social media. We try our darndest, but that's not our forte. I'm doing the best I can. John tries in between on breaks. Tom, we call Tom Forget About It Kibler, because unless it was before 1980s, he doesn't even, he's has a hard enough time getting on a Zoom call. You never get to see his face. And then Matt's busy and trying to get videos together for us, but we're not tech people. John and I can tell you, we are not tech people. We need help with this.
oh my gosh, it's almost like, they're locking them up. That's what I was thinking. My husband studied, the computer. He did all these computer, classes and stuff. So if anybody knew about it, it would have been him. Oh,
Yep. Well, any help's appreciated, and the biggest help is just sharing.
that's
Send these to your congressman.
Kim Gilliard. She goes on Facebook. I swear to gosh, she can get so many views. All she does is get in there and share. You can go into her, and I know she's been sharing y'all stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Go into her Facebook, just share, and it's going to get people's attention. Some people know how to do it on the TikTok thing, but that thing, I'm new to all of it. I can tell you all that. That's why I was thankful for Darren putting this up for everybody, so that we can have people in the chat. I don't even know if I can view the chat from how I'm at, because I don't have y'all hooked up to my big screen. But
well, I see there's chat going on. Yeah, there's chat going on.
Are we even getting any views, I wonder?
I see Debbie Anderson in there. I see quite a few people.
Back to Lies is Kim. All right, Debbie. Yeah. I think Factor Lies was finding some signatures for you guys, and that'd be good. And even if you can't, afford anything or whatever, every little bit helps. But if you can't do that, just share it. You can share it instead of donating, and that's what we really want, is getting this word out. But everybody's got to keep afloat, and everybody's working hard. I understand other people have to do things to make money, and we just gotta, do God's bidding. I like to think about, I like to do what God would do.
Hey,
now,
Billy.
Yeah, John?
Somebody in that chat asked where they could go to sign the petition and then check out the stuff other than, is the petition on the Toll and Roll website?
Yeah, it's right under, if you go to tollandroll.com and then, Brenda, I think you can pull it up again. If you go to tollandroll.com, we actually have a link. It says the bill, go all the way and you'll see the name of it on the top here. It says, the link actually says the bill delivered to Congress, the People's Remedy and Restoration Act.
Not me
And then,
controlling it. I wish I could do that much, Billy. I think it's Darren back there.
oh, is that, thank you, Darren.
Darren's rolling it for
God
us.
forbid. If I can learn how to
So-
share my screen,
roll
guys,
roll it up,
it'd be
roll
good.
it up.
Yeah.
And there's, now you'll see there's links to click on the bill so you can read it and download it. And
So
then as you
bill
go further down,
Congress, the People's Remedy and Restoration Act, HR 1776, right? 1776, y'all, easy to remember. And
no,
HR,
wait, let's rephrase this, Brenda, because the thing is when I started writing this, there was not another bill called HR 1776.
oh,
So why I put it the way it's put on the website is the People's Remedy and Restoration Act, HR 1776 dash the new Declaration of Independence 2025. It's a long name now, but it's not on the paperwork because what they have says HR 1776. But since they got this, we found there was another bill with that number. It's a bill with medical stuff. But on the actual paper, the letter I wrote this morning that goes out to your representatives, right under the title, it says not to be confused with. So when you actually open the letter and click on it, you'll see at the very top, it says not to be confused with underneath the name. See right there? So when you look right underneath the name, what does it say? Because I can't see it here. Can you read it, Brenda?
I sure can't, y'all. Darren, it's way too small. We gotta blow up it. I don't know if they could blow it up.
People will see it. Literally says on, oh, there we go. Not to be, whatever it says. I still can't see it because I'm on my phone. But
Use blue.
And then Billy,
Oh, it just shows you where to sign the petition.
over here in the chat, somebody by the handle of, I'm gonna tear it up, G Dead AO 095. I'm a professional channel promoter, specialize in helping streamers grow and achieve verification, whether you're just starting out. Blah, 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 blah. This position your channel for partnership, monetization, and long-term growth. If you're interested in taking your channel to the next level,
Discord.
check them on Discord. Yeah.
well,
Okay.
if you can see that info, John, and we can save it. We'll talk to Darren too. And
Right.
because that, but what's the most important thing is getting this bill read by everybody. By everybody. So we get this bill read by everybody. They get the petition. The petition now, remember, and it says on the petition on our document, you don't have the petition is not needed to get this to Congress and the senators. We've already got it there. What the petition is for is to get the support up for people to see it, to share it, to have a place besides our website that they can put a note. They can put in the note, they can put their case information in when they sign the petition. They can put a video on there for 20 seconds. We've got a few on there now. So utilize these tools because that's all we know how to do. And get your voice heard and participate and get this to your senators. Literally, if you go to
Stop scrolling on Darren if you could, because it is coming in clearer now. Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, we're trying to ensure the remedy is activated, right? The people.
Yeah, well, it's actually on the document. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull up the actual document and I'll tell you. I can read the letter to you real quick because I've got that right here. So hang on. Open.
Y'all could bring our faces back up if you want.
Yeah, here it is. The People's Remedy and Restoration Act, the People's New Declaration of Independence 2025. And right underneath that, it says, distinct from the unrelated medical bill using the same number. This act serves as an umbrella for all legislation restoring lawful governance, remedy, and accountability. So this letter is in support. Oh, sorry, gosh, I brought you right up to my eyeballs. This letter is in support of the petition, the bill, and the remedy delivered. So it gives all the links. It's got our scheduler and information for Tom Kibler, because he handles all our scheduling and information. His phone number is on it. Our email is on it. And the bill, I believe, is 24 pages long, I think. And once you read that bill, it encompasses every crime that is happening through CPS, APS, deed fraud, guardianship, conservatorship, child trafficking, elder trafficking, medical human trafficking, because remember, there's government sponsored. It's done medically as well through the hospitals. And so what this bill does is it pulls it all in, because it's all being used through the counterfeit, forged, and perjured documents in the land and court records. And because of those documents, they're also the utilization of the software systems that go all the way up to the Department of Defense. And our team has delivered that system and whistleblower testimony. And last week, I think, John, I haven't sent it to you yet, or I may have, but we had our internal MERS whistleblower who aligned with the white paper and whistleblowing I did on the software systems. And we've now, and she's on our team already from a couple other whistleblower teams, but that got sent in as well to Congresswoman Capter's office and a few of the others, Clay Higgins' office, the ones who were the top 5 on our list who are promoting the bill. Or no, it was Higgins and Captor, I believe, and the Judiciary Committee.
Yay.
Because,
Yes.
yeah, because that's important information.
And
So, and remember, MERS isn't just about deed fraud, guys. And if you saw, I don't know, John, if you saw, because you've been so busy, that ICE has transferred ownership now to that young guy. Yeah, it transferred this week. They've transferred their platform around to new ownership. And I'm talking ICE that owns the MERS Corp. And so the kid, he looks like a 12-year-old. They used an AI picture of him as well. These software systems all interact. So because they all interact, it's not just homes involved in this, guys. It's your identities, it's your children, it's your parents. These platforms pretend to have different meanings and uses, but they all interact. Just like when CPS comes to get your child and they say, we're here from Child Protective Services. There's so many other platforms behind them. You've got DHS behind them, both DHSs, by the way, Department of Homeland Security and Department of Health and Human Services, right?
I can tell you that they really go on that TikTok, because that's how a lot of trouble started, because those CPS workers and actually the supervisors, even after my kids were kept and adopted out to strangers, they still stalked me on TikTok. It was unbelievable.
All of these platforms are actually very dangerous for the sharing of your children and your family. Many of us on there, we really just intend to be on there so we can keep track of our family and friends. But when you're in these, when you're in these genres, Brenda, as you know, and John and I, we've had this conversation many times. You start getting friend requests from people you don't know, and you don't want to be rude because you're nice people. But then it's like, wow, now I better take down a few pictures. But once you put them up there, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think, and it is nice to be able to talk and see somebody's face, to do this where, it's almost like we can really know each other a lot just by doing this right here. And everybody coming together, because I really think that's what it's about, is coming together with something that's already in place. I mean, the hard work is done because you guys have been working this for a long time, as I understand it, right?
Well, yeah,
Since
we've been.
April. Well, we've been at it for 20 years, but hardcore since April.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. On March 7th, it was the day John and I co-founded Toll and Roll. It was the day I found my ranch burned to the ground. And I called him in tears and I just said, John, I don't know what we're going to do. The guy who stole my ranch is burned I know I can't go on here and accuse him, but I can say it's highly probable that there was involvement well beyond setting that fire than anybody is letting on. They're saying that 2 Caltrans workers accidentally started it. But that fire, like the fire in LA, like the fire in Paradise, that fire started. There was no trucks, couldn't get up the hill. The fire hydrants weren't working. There was no water. We live literally right over my house is like Grand Central Station for the fires because I have 27 acres and they have a heliopad right on where they can land on my property or right next to my property. And so the fire trucks would stage up there. The retardant that they would start dropping would start around my house because my house was literally the lead in to the village. And so when they didn't drop retardant right away, they weren't up there with trucks. They told my neighbor when he called, my neighbor was out of town actually working in DC. He's a big contractor. He's in his 80s now, but he built a Smithsonian. He's done all kinds of stuff. And his wife called and they told him, he says, look, I'm sorry. He says, we have no water. And he said to the fire department, he said, I have one of the biggest pools in the valley up in my house. Use the water. They wouldn't pump it.
You
They
know, I
wouldn't do
remember
it.
that story. And that was what?
March. Well, that was last summer, the airport fires.
Oh,
Not
interesting.
this summer, but the following, like 6
It's
or
not
8
just
months
that
before
you're
that.
talking about your house. Well, of course, you're in California. There was a lot of houses burned there, but in this little town in Dixie, it's kind of weird. Went back to see the house where we lived in, where the kids were, taken from. One time I go there, it's all gutted out. Next time I go by, like months later, the thing is all burnt to the ground, and it's very strange, a very whole strange thing because it was all involved with the commissioners and stuff like that, where they just it's just like bullies, it's a bully mentality, and when they're wearing the costumes of the people that they're supposed to be, doing, but it's just some bad corruption out there. It's disappointing. It's
Well,
just
no, let me rephrase that for you. It's not some bad corruption. It is all corruption. And it is all tied through those software systems. And even your smart meters are tied into those software systems. This is why everything, the cell towers, my property was 27 acres. When I bought it, I had no idea. I had a cell tower on it. I had no idea it was landlocked. I had no idea I was in the middle of a development wanting to go through just a couple of acres over. And so I literally bought property that was in the middle of hell already. And when you have cell towers and you have smart meters, it took them, they showed up on my property when I wasn't home. I think it was 2008 or 9. And they put smart meters on my house.
yeah.
And I started right then. It took me a year. I finally got them removed. And then they took 2 years trespassing and attempting to come back. And they started after the first 2 times I caught them and said no. I said, no. Then they sent the guy who was the head of the utilities for that area. And he tried to come on the property. So what I'm telling you, Brenda, is this isn't some corruption. This is massive corruption, racketeering on the highest levels around this world involved through these software systems. And our bill that we started this talking about is the answer. Because what this bill requires, when you read it, you'll see the technology in there. And yes, Maxim technology, all of this technology ties in. We didn't give all the names because, quite frankly, when you get Palantir, Tyler Industries, Secure, Leads, what other one, John? There's more we've talked about.
Oh, there's so many.
They keep going. It's kind
They're
of
all
like
fingers
LLC.
of the spider, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's just like the LLCs, they keep going. So what you have to compromise is your entire life without even knowing it. And so what this bill does and why we came together is because when my ranch burned down, after all these years, John and I have been buddies for years because of the deed fraud and the theft of homes and identities, and how these sheriffs and police have been used and monopolized to do evictions as if we're tenants. They show up, they steal your children, all of it. So it's all encompassed. And don't ever think there's anything minimal about this. This is why this bill, guys, is so important. It tells them no more. You're going to audit all the land and court records. You're going to return all the stolen property, which includes children, which includes your elders, not just your property, is not just your land. They got to return everything, treble damages, everything. And this is hundreds of trillions of dollars, guys, not just a couple of pennies. And when people say, oh, we haven't got that, we're broke. No, 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 no. We are not a broke nation. We are a broken world.
There's
right?
a there's a John in the chat that's from Canada. I wish I can see the chat better than I can.
Oh yeah, I see. Outgamey. I see this here. I believe. Yes, Canada. You're connected. You're connected to us through the software. We've been on
just like they wanted to do with different countries. All the online Arms Act bill with every one of them a different extra thing to control part of life, like bank money and spending or censorship. Of course, censorship, that's a big thing, guys. Man,
it's all included. So that bill, everybody, even internationally, Matt and I were on, and I was on with J.J. Humphreys on Dan Happel's show. And if you know who Dan Happel is, he's international. Dan is really, really big into property rights and stuff, but he's a phenomenal platform. And that goes all over the world, his show. He's got it live everywhere. And everybody's coming together. And this bill, even if you're in Canada, even if you're in the UK, you're Australia, we have Australian whistleblowers on our team, by the way, guys. And that's important to know, because everything we're doing, this bill, even though it's for Americans, it's for our republic. Our republic was formed from all people from all the nations of the world. There's key words in all of this. This actually will bleed the bloodlines. It will bleed around the world as these back doors of these software systems are shut. Because even though it seems like they're all separate, they all have different names, like I was saying before, we have thousands of LLCs around the world. How many are actually owned by one party? They can have hundreds of thousands of LLCs, just like these software systems. That doesn't mean they're separate. They all interconnect and they all interact. And on our Facebook page, you can read the document I wrote, Secure for Dummies. S period, E period, C period, U period, R period, E period. Secure is a software platform that started in Orange County, California, LA, San Diego, and Riverside. The 4 counties own this software platform. It came in through Obama and Kamala Harris and Clinton. That software system catapulted. And that's how we found out of all the interactions, because John and I are just average Joes. But guess what? We also have common sense. And when something doesn't look right, what'd you say, John? Huh? You got the sense, buddy. You're the head of household. So that's all we can offer you guys, is we're not anomalies. We're just like you. And I think a lot of the people who watch this platform and participate are just like us. You're question askers, you're problem solvers. If something doesn't look right, you ask questions. Well, this bill answers all the questions to shutting the door on all of these crimes. They connect all of the crimes. So there you go. My spiel for the night, Henry.
So, John, you're being awfully quiet.
John's been up since 3 a.m. John's trying not to fall asleep.
Well, it took us a while, but we finally got it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say,
You know, the trip we did to DC, I'll kind of hit on that a little bit, because since we started this back in March, April, we came to the conclusion that we had to be boots on the ground, boots to ass to get anything done. So we took it upon ourselves, to say, let's go to DC. Let's make as many places hit as we can hit along the way to educate the lawyers and educate the people that we can hand the FU letter to, and let them know that we're going to see Doge, and let them know that we're going to go see senators and congressmen. And, we've managed to get in the door at Doge 5 times now, which is way, way better than I think anybody else has done.
It'd be nice to get the round table. You see Trump at the round table, and they have that
right.
journalist up there, that Nick Shirley. I mean,
I guess, Portland, Oregon's ground zero for a lot of that crap. So I guess I'm just going to have to get on my nice bright shirt and go to Portland, Oregon, and start making a lot of noise on national TV.
Right.
Maybe if I wear my Doge hat,
American shield and everything. It's like,
yeah,
oh my goodness.
If I go wearing my Doge hat and a mask, so all you see is my beard and my eyeballs, maybe I'll make enough noise and I'll make a presence with my Dayglow yellow shirt on.
Right. Well, you know what, John? Take our cowboy. Take Tom Davis, because Tom's 6'7". And I'll tell you, that cowboy of mine, he can make a mockery
That'd be
of
a rowdy,
anybody.
fun time.
You'd have a ball with him. You two would really do well.
There's already a group of patriotic types standing there, starting to make noise. It took them long enough, but people didn't know. I noticed in the last 2 days, the Antifa crowd waned way off. It had been in the hundreds, and I want to say it's in the 20s right now, because they either hauled them off or they got smart and stayed away.
Well, and that's huge. That's a huge testament to the people as well, and to having some safety. But I know everybody's, on this show, it's about the children, yes. CPS. And my thing is, I'm a mother of 5, and I grew up in I'm just going to say there was a lot of trauma in my childhood. CPS was talked about a lot, not because of my parents, because of other people in my life around me. And so from a very early age, I saw social services involved with kids and CPS. And I got to tell you, then I had my own mom, and with probate issues, my own mom thrown in a home and locked up in an Alzheimer's unit without any access to her because of forged documents, because of notarized documents that were forgeries and counterfeit. I've dealt with counterfeit death certificates with one of my sisters because of families who are greedy, and then they end up doing things that get people involved who are not family. And I do mean like the sheriffs, the police. And once you end up with involvement of social services, heavy, when they actually step in, you all know it's hard. You can't just kick them out. So learning your rights as far as not opening those doors, learning that they have to have a proper writ of execution to do anything, but also learning that even with your best paperwork showing that your children are your property, showing that a lot of people know what age of majority is, that they haven't reached it, so you claim your property, that kind of thing. It's still very, very dangerous. So we knew when the ranch was burned down, when John had the bus. Tell him about your bus, John, because this is how you and I talked about tolling and rolling for so long. Tell him about the bus and your business, and let people know that you can substitute house for child, house for elder, because the paperwork are all done the same deceptive way. Not that a home is more important than a child. Please don't take, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the crime itself is committed the same, no matter what the target is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, what I was starting to say on this last trip to DC was, we made a bunch of rounds to a bunch of congressmen because most people don't realize in order for a bill to even get noticed, witnessed, or heard on the Senate floor, it has to be sponsored by Congress or Congress people. So our goal was to bang on as many congressmen's doors as we could. Brenda was instrumental in get us into Clay Higgins' office, Congressman Higgins out of Louisiana. That office had us sit down at their table for about an hour and a half so that we could fully explain what was going on and what we were there for. And, they were blown away that a group of people from all across America, I think there were 6 of us that day, from
8,
all
actually.
different states. 8, okay, 8. 8 different states were present in that room. Brenda was present through us, so call it 9. And we were the first group of people that had come to them with a bill for the people, not for a function, not for one facet of it, but for everybody. And they were blown away by that. And in all this young guy's time there in that office, which I think was 2.5 years, it had all kinds of people come to him with all kinds of things, but we were the first group to come for all the people. So that stated their office is really good about doing their own homework and research. They don't like to go by what the media says and what the newspapers and rags say. They like to do their own homework and research, which is good. And that they were going to do everything in their power to move forward with and take that bill to the right people so that the right people see it. As far as my bus goes, our original intention was to have our own little town hall meetings going across the U.S. and get video of people and their stories going across the U.S. and get more affidavits from people going across the U.S. And unfortunately, because my bus was my house for a year. I lost my house. I lived in my bus for a year. It sat more than it got drove. And when things sit mechanically, they just don't like each other. So unfortunately, I had a turbo leak that was spitting enough oil that I didn't trust it to go cross country. So it had to stay home. I fully intend to have us take that bus cross country. I hope, so that we can do some things with people. Yeah, the whole reason for that is so that we could sit somewhere to park and have a roundtable meeting with like-minded folks, people with their stories, because everybody has a story. The CPS side of it, the adults family services side of it, the guardianship side of it, that was all new to me in April, but I've had a crash course on it, as all of us have, that haven't been a part of that side of it since April. So
yeah, that's why I didn't think like I would be a person that would even have to ever deal with something like that. I mean, we were 6, so we pretty much thought we should be getting awards to be able to homeschool 3 doctors and and just like, okay, well, that's great. But if that's why I always say, if they could do it to us, they could do it to anyone. And it's definitely, it seems like, even though if you speak up and you do this, it actually puts a target on you. It's almost, it's that's what happens. You become,
right.
But
Yeah, I've logged 2 SWAT teams, over a dozen illegal foreclosures, attacked by the sheriffs, stalked, trespassed, followed. And some of it has started again since DC. It actually started before DC when I started getting vocal prior to finding the house burned down. And because the gentleman, I can't even call him that. Let's retract that term. That man the foreign investor who is squatting on my title, he's a place card holder. He's a Ukrainian Slovakian who is the CEO of All Rice Capital. So the party in there, I'm not sure what your real name is. You're out gaming about Maximus. I want you to look into All Rice Capital and shoot me a message. Darren and Brenda have my contact. Shoot me a message, because once you look into All Rice Capital and how it ties into the software systems, the gaming systems, and Bitcoin, and child trafficking. And so since you know about Maximus, guys, you know the child trafficking is being done through gaming. It's being done online through these poker games. My girlfriend Carol, her and I used to do a podcast about identity theft years ago together. She, huge whistleblower. She was the Pall Mall of Polly back in the day. Also, we were the whistleblowers on the MetLife buy, sell, buy, that $500 billion settlement. And no, we didn't get a dime, which would have been nice, because John wouldn't have to worry about his darn bus. We'd have a nice new rig, and we'd be traveling across with him, just having to change oil every once in a while. But that's not the case we're in. We are whistleblowers. We are victims. We are people who help each other. And this all ties in together. So the Maximus, I'm going to let you know, yes, that's huge. That is a huge component. The software, the patented software we handed over links it all. So but I would like that person whoever, I don't know your name, so Outgame, yeah, you know about that. I figured you would, because if anybody is deep into the research of platforms, you don't have to dig too far. Now, Outgame, you are someone who I would love to talk to, because like my partner Carol back in the day, it sounds like you actually know tech and that. I don't come from that background. I have what's called neurological deference. So as a little girl and always growing up, I was always the one who was inventing things, or my mom would come in and I'd had everything that was supposed to be in the trash can, moving across the floor like a worm or something, because I was problem solving. Well, what can that do? What can that do too? So it's not because I know technology. It's because, like John and I are saying, common sense tells you when something isn't right. What's causing it? Where's the money going? Follow the money trail. And then when all of a sudden you find that IP addresses, which obviously I didn't know what that was either when I found it, IP addresses are telling you where somebody is that's putting a document in the county records. And then you find out that IP address actually goes to someone's home who works for the county, who's not supposed to be using the password to these platforms. And then you say, well, how'd they get the password? And then the next thing I knew, in 2019, we had Polly, number one Polly, who was a whistleblower for McCarthy and Holthus, contact me, and she said, I worked for McCarthy and Holthus on the MERS platform, and that password system, that key you're talking about, is simply an entry into a software system that I was told to use to create title where none exists. What else does it do, guys? It creates identities that do not exist. But when you say they don't exist, all of a sudden they do, but they're not you. They do, but they're not you. They are a byproduct of you. They could be a byproduct of your DNA and bloodline. So I'm excited for people who comprehend this stuff. You are a byproduct. We're all, you and me both, are byproducts.
I got a byproduct, but it's not very it doesn't smell very good.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Maximus also is MERS. It's in the MERS. It's in that whole ICE platform, that whole ICE the ICE ownership, the international ownership. That's phenomenal when you start realizing how simple it is for them to create a platform, which again is like 100 million LLCs, but actually interact and are one. So it's just, yeah, straw man. And that's what they call the straw man, is what John and I are familiar with in the D world, because they use straw man to come in and allege to buy things, and then they're just place card holders. Same thing with your identity. They create the straw man identity in order to place card hold for you, which is what these systems do. The courts, they use the shadow dockets, shadow cases, shadow identities. We've talked about it many times where they use prisoners to shuffle in, pretending they're somebody they're not, and then they let them out early from their sentences for standing in that courtroom, and they go out the back door of the court. They're John Smith again, where they stood in the courtroom as Jackson Brown. This is what we've caught on all of this software doing, and it does interact all the way up to the Department of Defenses, because your military complexes are involved, because that's how all of these programs through the CIA, the FBI, et cetera, they all are run through these departments because they all interact. Your judges can see all of these platforms, your federal judges. Your sheriffs can see a lot about you through these software systems that they have the access to, that the back doors aren't shut on. It's so easy. We can no longer have this, though. So that is what John and I and our team have been doing, going to DC, meeting with these people. Doesn't mean we like what we have to do, but because everything is procedure, and it's all the corporate side procedure. Remember, you have to follow procedure. You have to get procedure right. So you have to learn procedure of how DC operates. And I don't know about you, John, but I just, it's an icky feeling, and I know it is for you too.
We've managed to force feed the procedure down their throat pretty well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes you think it would be, so easy. You're just like the old days. You call somebody and you make it that way, but it works a lot differently than that. Sometimes,
unfortunately, with the politicians, the squeaky, noisy wheel gets the most attention, and we proved that with my home state Senator Merkley, because I've been in DC 4 times now, and every time I was in DC, I went to his office direct, trying to get a sit down with him or chief of staff or somebody important behind the scenes. Hadn't gotten anywhere. So this last trip we were there, I made sure I walked in there very noisy, very loud, very vocal in my squeaky wheelness. Lo and behold, I got a 20-minute conversation with a lady that was behind the counter, behind the doors. And excuse me. Now moving forward, I'll have direct contact with a local Eugene, Oregon, where I live, member of his team, so that I can have face-to-face contact, boots on the ground, boot up your ass contact, and we'll start making noise going forward with my local Democratic senators.
See, that's what I was thinking. It doesn't matter. Just I like to look at what committees your senators on, so kind of know how to what you're getting into when you're going into, or your congressman or whatever. What committees are they on?
He's on a committee for a bill that actually kind of coincides with what we're trying to get done, in that they've got I can't remember the actual name of the bill, but it's a zero hedge fund bill, meaning they're trying to get all the hedge fund, Wall Street, BlackRock, all those guys out of the private sector housing market. The bill fines them, taxes them for having anything over 100 houses and properties in their portfolio, and they still get penalized for having that 100 houses in their portfolio.
They have to downsize. They have to sell properties, and that bill, from what I've read, they have to come down. But again, they're just going to replace them with straw buyers with names, and their company won't be on it. So the only way to really end this, guys, and all of you in the chat who know anything about any of this, we've taken it all. All of that you're talking about in the chat, it's all in the evidence, even beyond, like the SBA, Small Business Administration. We have whistleblowers with the evidence that the SBA is the one logging the children, all of those kidnapped, stolen children.
The missing children, and we won't forget about that. They're
not missing, by the way. They call them missing, but they're cataloged. Then they go missing because they're cataloged as livestock, and they're cataloged as organic growth.
It's just like a number, right?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Auschwitz stories. You know, they get stamped with a number. Everything has a number because it's a receipt. That number coincides with securitization, with derivatives. It all is about money. So, and those children and those women and even adult males, this people are a commodity. They're considered livestock. That was part of the buy, sell by Metropolitan Life whistleblowing, is because in the insurance policies, there's technology that when you use it, you actually see the hidden words. And so like where it said people or person, when you would use this other technology, we found it changed to livestock. And so it was being run through the agriculture. So all of this sounds, again, because it sounds so convoluted and there's so many rabbit holes, we try to tell everybody, keep it simple. It all comes back to the fact that these software systems are being created to give an appearance of rabbit holes, but they all interact and do the same thing. They launder everything we own, right from our soul equity. And this is why the terminology, we are not a broke nation. We are but a broken world. And we are but a drop of blood in the ocean of bloodlines of the world. So you are somebody. And your DNA, no matter who you are, matters because it's used. And when I say matters, matter means something too. Not just matters as in, yes, it matters that it could change, but matters as in a substance. Everything has dual terminology in these platforms. When any of you who have done work on the deep web, who have done Google Mirror, who have gone into the mirrored side of Google, you will know that when you get in there, now mind you, when we found the years ago, a dozen years ago, when we found the one road into this platform where they had all the identities, and these identities had a social security number, and this social security number had credit cards and identity. You could literally take that identity, it was traded on the black web, take that identity and then use that as a new platform for a family that you could create. And each of the families, then you could create, grab another identity to use the identity of the social security number. This is how simple it really is, guys. These criminals all knew and know how to use these platforms because they have no security. They have no back door, just like our treasury. That's why every time you go for a loan that you think you're getting a loan, you're not getting a loan. They're going through the back door of the treasury with your wedding signature and accessing your account. It's just like you've given somebody a check to your bank account down the street, wherever you keep your credits, your funds, and they take the funds. Well, you're paid. That's what they're doing at the treasury. But because the treasury leaves a back door open, there's no risk management. All these criminals crawl right through that back door, right in.
That's what I
So
just want to say about the Congressman Clay Higgins, what he served on, because that was the Committee on Oversight and Reform, and he's the chairman of the subcommittee on federal law enforcement. So see that, and where's a lot of our problems lie, I believe, with when the Department of Justice during another administration and certain people with the Department of Justice and the FBI, were the bad guys, and that. Yeah.
They still are. They still are the bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, people think that this is happening and everything's being fixed. It's all theater, guys. And we're here to tell you as a team, if you think this theater is showing you things are getting fixed, and we don't get this bill passed, and we don't get this legislation in place, because no other legislation really fixes this. This literally, you can take every other bill out there, wrap it up under the umbrella of this bill once you read it, and you can see once you bring back our republic form of government for and of and by the people, aside from the corporate business structure of it, which we were intended to have, there is no longer the ability for this to go on, because once we shut the doors, once we shut and I know everybody goes, oh, you can't do that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, we've had the conversations. This is possible. A switch can go on just as much as a switch can go off. And right now we're just in a really bad place in this world. And what we've handed is the peaceful remedy. And we pray, and I pray that you all can recognize that in our futile past attempts to get help, that we know now why we didn't, because of the gatekeepers. Boy, John and I can go on for a long time about the gatekeepers.
Like
We've
so
met them. They start
it's like
very
you're
young.
playing a Dungeons and Dragons game in real life. It's like the roll of
Mhm.
dice. What will happen? Oy.
Yep. So what we've done is we've actually, guys, gotten past the gatekeepers. We actually have a promise, thanks to Brenda and working so hard and doing what we asked of her, because we were going to his office already. But because of you, Brenda, because of your tenacious spirit, I'll put it at that.
Tenacity.
Tenacity, thank you.
Sure.
We not only, when we got there, our team was standing outside waiting to go in, and Clay Higgins himself came up to us. And J.J. Humphreys was with us, House of Representative from Oklahoma.
Wow.
We had an amazing conversation with Mr. Higgins. He literally said, and the way he speaks, so slow and so determined, right, with his words, he said, I promise you, we will do everything we can. We will read it all. We will help the trajectory of it, basically how to get it where it needs to go, to make sure we get all the support for it. You give us the information. He pointed at the man we were going to meet with, and he says, we'll do everything we can to get this forward. Now, he also didn't know, but we had Schumer's office, and we had Congresswoman Capter's office. We had we now had the bill over at the Problem Solvers Caucus. So we already had a foundation where this had been handed. But when he gave us that promise, and then as John told you, we spent an hour and a half with them. When you hand people something besides just bitching and complaining and moaning, because at some point all of our stories cross, they're all the same. They're horrendous. These are horrendous, terrifying stories to repeat and relive.
Yeah.
But you know what? They've heard them. And when I say they, I mean all these representatives, and they know the damage that's been done. They know it's still going on. They know children are still being abused. They know children are still being stolen right out of their beds. They know elderly are being locked down and everything they own stolen from them and their families. That generational wealth is disappearing. But guess what? They also know, Brenda, they know toll and roll. They know that there is a citizenry, a people, a movement that has brought not just the stories, but the remedy. That's what we do. We bring the remedy, we bring the business of fixing it. And that, I think, John, is probably why we've done so well. Don't you?
Yep. You know, like I said, it's about coming in. We come in a way that, one, we're Mutt and Jeff. We're not your average. We're not all in suits. We're not in zoot suits. I have a tendency to wear what I'm wearing right now. I'm in my work clothes. I'm here to get something done. I'm working. I don't need to show off and put a suit on to go work. So we show up as a ragtag grassroots organization, and we just start it that way. And we walk in the door and say, "Hey, we're here as toll and roll delegates. We're here to do this. We're for all the people. We're here on behalf of all the people. And who do we talk to?" And we're in the door, just like that.
And we're forming relationships with these people. We like these people, most of them. Some of them, Matt and I have run across a couple when we've been boots on the ground where I've had to turn around and give the one more thing, grandma thing. But for the most part, we're welcomed in. We're asked, do you want coffee? Do you want a soda? We sit on the couch, we chit chat with them. We do the small talk. And I think it's because we can relate to most of them because most of them are the age of our kids.
That might be part of it.
Might be part of it because, you get endeared to certain certain people, and after you've seen them a few times and you come in the door, and actually, John's, I can't remember, what was it, Merkel's office, or the one
Merkley.
where Merkley, where we went in without you a couple of times?
Yeah, it was Merkley's office.
Was it Merkley's office? Well, his staff in there literally would light up like we're delivering the best, softest, warmest cookies and milk to them. Because when we came in, we weren't there being rude. We weren't expecting anything of them other than to do what they're supposed to do, which is meet the public, talk to the public, help us get appointments in the office, help us get our information into the office. And we've actually, because of the way we've been corresponding, and corresponding means it goes back and forth, guys. Not only are you sending information, but you're getting responses. Because we've tried to explain to everybody, if you want to get a response, don't expect it. They don't read crap. If you send them a link with this many documents or a link of any kind, normally they can't open links because they're not allowed to go into, like, they can't use hard drives. They can't, or those little, what are those called? Those USB sticks. You can't give them all this stuff. They can't use them because they can't put them in their computers. But when you take them, one-page document, or send them a one-page document about your case, not all of it, but a one-page document that explains in bullet point, in brief, that gets their attention, you just might get a phone call back, and that second phone call will be, what other information do you have to provide me? You will not get their attention if you send them something this thick, even this thick, because they don't have the time to read stuff. So they read the first page and then they don't read the rest. And that's just what's been happening for the last few decades of what we've gone through. And any of you who've tried to communicate with these offices will have similar stories. Look, I sent the FBI this, I said, and my favorite, and John will tell you how I just can't help it. I have no patience for people. I sent that document to Pam Bondi. I sent that document to Kash Patel, and they don't ever respond. Well, you're not sending it to Pam Bondi. You're not sending it to Kash Patel. You're sending it to gatekeepers. And then the gatekeepers decide what's going to go up the chain to the next people, who then decide if it's going to go up the chain to the next level of gatekeepers. There's so many level of gatekeepers, you don't realize it. So John kept telling everybody right from the beginning, when you send things to Doge, when you send things to your congressmen or your senators, put in the subject line, additional toll and roll evidence. Now, all of you out there that know about technology, a few of you I look forward to hopefully meeting, you're going to recognize that that was one of the things that I said we had to do. Why? Because it pulls up our algorithms. It connects us in their system. All of these computers now in their systems have us as information that they share. So when the tech people pull up and they start doing runs of, I can't think of what they're called, you tech people will know, but when they do runs for information that's coming into the buildings and coming into all these offices, and they show the interconnecting, toll and roll is one of them at the top, guys. Because when you put toll and roll, additional information, into the subject line, or if you want, in your whole document, put our website, because once that's in there, the algorithms pick it up. And the more you do that, the more our information and your information is seen. We have an affidavit on our website that's called a Doge Affidavit of Remedy. That was what we delivered the first time out. That affidavit we've done. All you have to do is have it notarized. You notarize that document, you send it to Doge, and you CC our email, which is on our website, but it's toll and roll 2025@gmail.com. So you send it to the Doge email, which is on our Facebook page, on our documents that talk about the Doge affidavit. You send it to them, you CC us, we keep a copy, we add you to our living list of affidavits. And that then starts your information in their system. Whether they ever respond to you or not, because you send us a copy of that affidavit, we've got you back on the list that we have with Doge, the updated list. So it interacts. So what we're doing, because again, remember, I'm the software whistleblower in Orange County. Yes, you heard me right. Me, not tech, not anybody, but because I learned these software systems interact. And just like anything else, if you want to be part of the party, your name's got to be on the invitation, right? So put your name on it. Get your name in the algorithm by using toll and roll additional evidence, but make sure we get your affidavit of remedy. And it's all on our website. It's all on that link is also on our Facebook page, but go to www.tollandroll.com. We haven't done anything magical. We've just been, we said, God use us.
I still haven't done the affidavit. See, this is what I've been going. And I know everybody's got busy out there, but yeah, just that's what I say. I encourage do it because it's already right there. All you can say, you get it notarized and sign it. Hello.
And guess what? That Doge shares a building with Maximus. You're going to love this story. So, John and I have our trip, and then we go back in June. And John had to leave a day ahead of me, John. And so Matt and I finished our work, and then I came back, and then I had to go to Idaho for our veteran, Richard Sykes. And on my way home from Idaho, hang in there, JB. On my way home from Idaho, I got a call from our scheduler, Tom Kibler, and he says, "You're not going to believe it. I just got a phone call where we can't go into Doge offices anymore." And that was before our June trip. Oh. That was after our first trip, in between our June trip.
That was 5 days before we were supposed to be there in June.
Yeah, 5 days before our appointment we had scheduled in June. So I literally did the hold my beer, got a hold of Rod Class. We had many more things going at that time, but we all decided, nope, but guess why they wanted to keep us out of there? You're going to love this part, all you tech guys. You're out of gamey. You're going to love this. Why? Because when we first went to Doge and had our first 3 meetings, all hell was breaking loose about Elon Musk. So they were all worried about what Elon was doing. They were so busy in their legal office, diverting things that we got in the door. They never reviewed everything we took. And guess what? When we dropped off our information in person, they got the patented software system with our white paper attached to it, explaining how these systems work. And you're right, Maximus shares a building. Their attorneys went hog wild crazy. Now, mind you, we've been back since, but there was a very big reason why their attorneys didn't want us back in there, but now they couldn't do anything about it because we'd already delivered what the information was. There's no way of getting us out of their algorithms anymore. We're honorable. We're people bringing remedy. And I wrote an article, if any of you are interested. It's also, I think, on our Facebook page, and I'll put it on our website soon. It's called Doge is Compromised, just not the way you might think. They're compromised because of their attorneys. They're compromised because of the software systems. So yes, we are a party to all of this. We recognize it. We have whistleblowers much smarter than us, believe me. Much smarter than me. I just happen to be one of those minds that's a sponge. So imagine before I had 3 strokes, guys. People with neurological deference are very hard to keep information away from because we're problem solvers. We're the why guys. We're the how come? How'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do it that way? We're the ones that drive you batshit crazy. Just ask someone, because I do. I tend to be that one.
Shut up already.
Shut up, Oscar. But because of that, that's why we're getting where we're going, because we have great relationship. We recognize how each other works. And we got in the offices before they could shut us down, and they know we know. The DOJ has everything sealed right now. They don't know what to do with us. But we're there, guys, and with your help, with you getting this petition signed, with you getting it shared, with you making sure anybody out there going to these meetings, showing up at these meetings saying, hey, you guys have violated this, you guys have violated that, you caused this, you did that wrong, well, yeah, you can tell them everything they're doing wrong, but you might want to share the remedy we took. Because just telling people they did something wrong without showing them what the accountability is, really, you're missing the boat. Don't leave out the bill.
Well,
Don't
by the
leave
way,
out.
we're coming for you.
Yeah. And by the way, they are coming for you. They're here. And just so you know, our petition of remonstrance started 9 years ago. It's in all 50 states with 40 of them ratified. We're over 2/3, which means this bill cannot be ignored. This bill has a next step to it. And for those of you who comprehend how this works, you're going to figure that out. And you're going to go, wow, you're right.
9 years.
You guys
What month was that? What month? Do you remember?
It first went into Powers versus Bank of New York Mellon and into Trump's administration and California administration in 2019 with 15 other states within a month. Then we went from 15 states with the help of Linda Nash and Homeowners Legal Rights, who paid for, it was almost $6,500 to pay for the printing, which, believe me, was 15 boxes. When I pulled up, I had no idea. I had to have so much help getting those boxes in my car. So we ended up with another 25 states. So we have state representatives with the petition of remonstrance, and each state, it was the governor, Secret Service, the local representative, the House of Representatives in the state, which is the House, the state and the congressional and the state side of the representatives. It also went to Trump or whoever's agents was in charge. Biden was in on some of this, his administration. So it went to the Supreme Court of these United States as well. It went to the presidential administration. It went to the federal agencies in DC. So when we say we have state representatives, we don't just mean they dropped off notices. This was done through tracking, through registered mail, through some used forms of registered mail that were representative of the Republic also. Some people know what that means. It didn't have to be, but it went registered, so it was all tracked. It was in their hands. So it's been in 3 different administrations, 50 states, 40 ratified, over 600 different departments and agencies. It also has been filed on countless case dockets across this country. And what that did was it said, we the people, all of us, the people, all of the people in every state, in every union of this state, in each one of these states, whether you knew it or not at the time, the petition of remonstrance wrapped everybody into it. It said any department, any agency, any political party, any public servant who took an emolument and was violated any of our civil rights, our Bill of Rights, our Constitution. Now, remember, there's all different things encapsulated in this, but what it basically said was whether you knew it or not at the time, we wrapped you into that. And then going forward, as each state then got a representative, you were wrapped into that. And then when we went to
I got to bug
DC,
out here in a second. Sorry to bug you. Out of gaming, write this email address down because Out of Gaming needs to connect with us.
Oh.
If you're ready to go, Out of Gaming, the email address is toll and roll, one word, all lowercase, 2025@gmail.com.
Okay, JB, have a good night. I'm going to finish this up and then I got to go too. I've been up.
I'm wondering if there's anybody in the back room to take us down.
All right. Y'all, have a good night.
Otherwise,
Good night,
I'll be
JB. So let me finish with this, guys, because this is important. So the petition of remonstrance, when John and I and Tom We had Stephen Phillips with us from Probate Trap at first. When we rolled to DC, it was with, because all the notices had been given, all the defaults had been given to these parties across the country already over the years that they were in violation, as well as the petition of remonstrance being filed. Remember, you have a right to grievances. And we used that right, and we used it properly, and we served the legislative branch. We took the affidavit of remedy that we were speaking of earlier that you need to notarize. You don't have to, because you're wrapped into this already. But if you want your voice to be heard on some of these platforms that you're sending these to, make sure you put toll enroll 2025 in there. Or toll enroll additional evidence in there. Okay? Because what we delivered everyone. So all of these people out there right now delivering notices, they should be referencing toll enroll, because those notices also tie into the petition of remonstrance for all the people, because we tied it into it. I hope that makes sense to all of you. So whether you knew it or not, because you are the people, every time you sent a grievance to a local sheriff, to a local police department, to any public servant, to any municipality board, supervisors, commissioners, to any Department of Justice, to any FBI, we told them in this petition of remonstrance that any violations of your emolument under the emolument clause creates the damages of all the people. So you're already part of this, because we made sure of it right from the beginning. We've always included you, your child, your home, your parents. We've included you all along the way. And we did it pretty quietly until now. Now that we've delivered the remedy, now that we have the bill, it's time to stand on the mountain and tell everyone, you're part of this. Whether you want to be or not, you should want to be, because once you read what this does and the hundreds of trillions of dollars that are laying there to be collected, and your municipalities that have the opportunity right now themselves to actually get on board and do this, because the municipality, if it does it before the federal government takes over and before we, the people in the Office of Protect, take over, you'll still be able to collect those damages locally into the local coffers. But if y'all at the state levels, and I mean y'all as in commissioners and county recorders and boards of supervisors, decide that you think that you don't have to be accountable to the people, and you're going to wait on this to see where it goes, well, when this gets enacted, it goes to the Office of Protect, it goes to DOJ, but the Office of Protect is we, the people, overseeing it. And the board of that Office of Protect are going to be the 5 founding writers of that bill. And then those funds go into a general fund for the Protect, for disbursement to the people. And it's going to go to the victims. It's going to go to refill retirement coffers, 30% only, because remember, there are still good people out there who are in offices that they have no idea that they're working for the criminals. Then it goes to pay off the country's debt, which is how we can do this and tie them into us, because we are friends of the Treasury this way. We are friends of these United States, because we're replenishing and filling the coffers back up from all the stolen funds that should have been paid into those coffers. And what's left over when you're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars, folks, is generational wealth to replenish your families. Any and all American born will benefit from those leftover funds. And it's not just $2,000. It's not just $5,000. It's lots. And you'll be very happy because you're tied into this. So you can sit at home and not do anything, but we really need you to do something. We need you to get this bill noise made. Now's the time. We want the bullhorn to say, guys, we didn't scream at you.
Rock the boat. That's what I was thinking. Rock the boat.
The boat. Yep, rock the boat. And we mean, you don't even have to, it's not really a rock in the boat. It's just to knock on that door. And it's you're not going to keep it shut anymore. We're in it.
Yeah, be like knocking on heaven's door. Please.
Yeah. Because
right.
God took us.
So much
God's
for being
promoting us.
patient, getting the show going and hanging in there with us. All right.
Thank you guys, and send us an email if you want. But please get the fire underneath you. And we also have a Give Butter page because we're out thousands of dollars. We each paid for all this ourselves. So believe me, even a buck helps. So go to Give Butter and help us keep rolling.
Happy feeling everybody coming together on us. I feel
Thank
good
you,
about it.
Brenda.
All right.
Thank you, Brenda.
All right.
Much love to you, by the way. Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, thank you. And prayers for everyone. I'm praying for Chris. He's doing better.
Good.
Came down to see him, and he's feeling better about it now. All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Gotcha. Bye.